Now, we saw Worcester coming in very clutch in the tournament today because of its characteristics. I'm going to break the camera free, and you can see it's a very narrow ship. And what that means is it's very easy for shells to go right through and explode on the other side, and they don't citadel the cruiser, especially at close range. So, contrary to common belief or how you're taught, you actually, when you're up close to battleships, want to sit broadside like this, because you'll take full pen damage, but you don't take citadel damage. Guns, very archy guns, but really good range and reload. You have the flexibility of running both. I personally like to run the range module instead of the reload module. It's got pretty much every consumable known to man, at least at this point in the game, save one or two. And she's a fun ship, but she's a very difficult ship to play. Did I miss anything, Puddin'?
No, not really.
Okay.
My only advice for people is don't learn how to park behind an island in a ship. It's very easy to learn. Learn how to open water for when, oh crap, the island's gonna get overrun.
And also learn how to abandon an island and when to abandon said island, right?
Yes, that comes with situational awareness.
Yep. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at the build that Dutch Elephant is running. I'm very interested in this one. At the beginning, he's got auxiliary mod. That's going to help his anti-air and secondaries. It's mainly for his anti-air, I suppose. Okay. Engine room protection, aiming systems, propulsion, concealment, and then he's gone for reload. Now, if you're going to go for reload, that means that you're either playing very close to islands or whatever, but more importantly, you're playing very close to a destroyer buddy, somebody who's going to give you smoke, somebody who's going to spot for you while you're in that smoke, and you get the ability to radar whatever. So essentially what we've been seeing in Warships Classic a lot. Now, I would recommend that instead of auxiliary mod, you be running main armaments. I think it's much better to run main armaments mod, keep your turrets alive. Turrets aren't exactly the healthiest. We'll move Discords in a minute, Grunty, once we get into the game. As far as captain skills are concerned, I don't know if he's running a special captain on this or not. I don't think it matters based off what I'm seeing. The only buffed skill would be gun feeder. This is a very utility-focused build, going with incoming fire alert, pyro or demolition expert, superintendent, concealment expert, and then last stand, gun feeder, adrenaline rush, the focus fire training for anti-air, and doing ASW stuff, and then going all in on this. This is a wow. Okay, so increased depth charge damage. So I'm gonna say it like this: if you're gonna plan a build like this, I'm surprised you didn't go even further and go with the auxiliary mod armaments here to buff up your anti-air even more so. But frankly, I would say you should be divisioning with a carrier. If you want to play a full anti-air like you're kind of set up here, I would division with the carrier. I don't think this is a good build for randoms.
I agree. If you're going to go full AA, drop the reload. You shoot fast enough as it is. Just triple, quadruple down on AA.
Right. Let's go back.
As far as diving, I was going to say, as far as diving with the carrier, there's enough carriers out there to where this could work in randoms without being in a div with one. Oh,
absolutely. Absolutely. I'm just saying you might as well guarantee that you'll have planes to shoot, especially if you're speccing so much into it. Anyway, let's go into the soundboard channel so that others can hang out too. All right. So that's that. Now, it's a standard captain. If it's a Doe or Halsey, you can see you get a buff gun feeder, and that's about it. Frankly, I don't think it matters having a special captain or not on the Worcester here. Hi, Grunty.
Hi.
Thanks. I thought we had moved up earlier, but obviously got distracted by a squirrel. So.
I wonder if that 4-point AA skill is actually there to mess with planes, or if it's there to get the consumables back. But
No.
considering
Honestly-
he was running auxiliaries mod in the slot 1, it's probably there for the AA.
Right.
Wait, hold on. This is the greatest build known to mankind. It is solely built to upset Grunty.
I'm not
Anyway.
upset about the full AA build.
Anyway.
Just,
To answer your question, Grunty, I would say the answer would be both, simply because your ship consumables don't change unless your guns are firing, your anti-air guns. So, again, this is why I would say bring a carrier. You're guaranteed to have planes in the game. Yes, there's a few other planes you could swat down with AA, but frankly, that's not going to help your consumables much. So,
the only thing I would change here is, like, I don't think you need gun feeder on the light cruiser.
I would agree
I'd
as well.
probably change that to the consumable specialist.
Yep. For this particular build, I would agree. But I also want to take a moment and let's rebuild this ship for a standard random battle, or maybe even for competitive, and let's think about how different this ship would look as a result. Bosh, if you can hit things at maximum range mod is better for randoms. If you cannot hit things at maximum range mod is not better in randoms. And that's a very important distinction that you have to decide for yourself. So the only difference I would say at the beginning is changing to main armaments mod 1. Everything else about the ship is perfectly fine. Again, it's up to you I would say which of these 3, because you could also do the unique upgrade, 1 extra consumable of each, and then quicker prep time for stuff works. And hey, if you're going full anti-air, look, that also helps your anti-air with priority sectoring. So let's leave it like this for a second. Radar you absolutely want in that slot. Captain skills, you're probably going to want to run a Doe or Halsey, although you could also make the argument for a Vetchkin. What do we want to start with? I always like to do last stand, although I can understand maybe wanting to start with incoming fire alert. I am a priority target enjoyer, as most people know, so this is me, how I would spec it up. I would go for priority target next. From there, I think either superintendent or survivability expert is good. Concealment is probably a good idea. Unless you're planning on like super long range, the open water the whole time, in which case you don't need it, I guess, in a sense. Survivability and adrenaline rush makes perfect sense. And then top grade gunner comes in handy if something's within your ship's standard detectability range. This is if you're going to be playing up close and personal with a destroyer buddy. If you're not, top grade gunner might not be as helpful for you. I like to play long range. I think I've got something like this. And then you've got some freedom of choices. An easy way to do it is to go for the consumables. And then you've got 2 points left. And for those remaining 2 points, I might go something like... God, I don't know.
I'd either take the demo or the 2-point AA skill if you're doing this build.
Yeah.
Why are you thinking last stand?
I hate losing engines and rudder in a cruiser, into light cruiser.
How often do you actually lose that in the Worcester?
That's true. So we can drop that. If we drop that, what does that open up? That opens up another tier 3 skill. In which case, you could take... Yeah, there really isn't that much that you really get out of this either, is there?
I might, like, even if you're not speccing for AA, I can see a value in the 4-point AA skill. Just to get, like, there will be enough planes where your A can shoot, like, be it ASW planes, be it Dutch airstrikes, just to reduce the cooldown. Like, not for the damage to the planes, just for your AA to keep shooting and reducing cooldowns.
So I'm going to show you guys how I built mine. I'm pretty sure I'd have to go back on the server and look. But this is how I built mine. Full range, full lighthouse. With top grade gunner, because if you think about it, your standard detectability range is increased because of the heavy HE and SAP. This is an open water build.
If you do this, wouldn't you want the... Like, if you take heavy HE, wouldn't you want IFHE on top so your HE actually pens too?
No. Partly because I don't have enough room for that with everything else I'm taking, and the other part of it is a lot of this is still planning on doing fire damage. Now, if I were to drop this and pick up IFHE, what do I get for penetration? Where's my HE shows? 37. I penned the 32, the magic 32, right? That's the big difference. Most of the time, I can't control the enemy battleship I'm shooting at. For me, most of the time, I don't care about doing raw damage. I just want fires. So
Yeah, but here's the thing. If you don't care about the raw damage, why you take the heavy HE? Like, do you just take it to make your concealment worse to get the reload? That's a heavy investment of points.
no, because at the same time, you're doing 10% better HE damage at, let's see, Bawan cruisers like Des Moines that you want to farm out. Destroyers, if you want to play up close and personal, like surprise somebody around an island or something like that, it still comes in very handy. Or, remember, you can still smoke up with a friend and get real close to an enemy that way. Again, this is how I've played her. Doesn't mean it's the right way. This is the way that I've played her, and this is the way that I've enjoyed her recently. So, again, the nice thing about this game is that there's no right way to play a ship. There's a lot of wrong ways to play a ship, frankly, but there's no one right way to play it. And the Worcester is one of those ships that's nice because there's lots of different opportunities to do it. No flags, by the way. Oh well.
I just don't like heavy HE without the pen.
Fair enough.
I think you're leaving a lot of potential on the table in that case.
And I think I'm losing way too much in order to get that, because now I'm giving up Superintendent or Survivability Expert in order to spec into that other one. And to me, that's just too much to give up. Or Top Grade Gunner, and I want Top Grade Gunner. I want my guns blazing. So, anyway, I don't want to spend way too much time talking about builds, because I have gotten some feedback that we spend too much time talking about ship builds. So let's get into the game then.
Well, those people are wrong.
You started this, by the way, with
Well,
going
I mean-
for a regular build.
I don't mind taking the time to go through the regular build. I just don't want to psychoanalyze every single piece of that. Anyway, go ahead, Puddin.
It is important to go over the builds because it will determine how the person's going to play.
Exactly.
I'm taking turret traverse, and you guys disagreed, offering a different play style. And people need to be aware of this and why you take such said skills over other such said skills.
Absolutely. Which I think we've kind of done here. So, we're in the game. Tier 10s. Except for 1 poor 8 and 1 poor 9. How'd you like to be that Yorktown over there? Or the Lexington?
I think you need to switch scenes. I'm seeing the build viewer still.
Oh, and I need to turn off the, oops, sorry. I need to turn that piece off. Anyways, so here's our setup. Pretty painful if I'm that Yorktown player, or the Lexington player. The enemy team has a Kearsarge, so at least he can cosplay as a carrier. And
Yeah,
Duncan's a pretty
that's-
strong tier 9.
Let's see it. It's your turn. It's your turn, and then. Oh, this match has been forced by the carriers because if you notice, one team only has 10s and 8s, the other team actually has a tier 9. And
Right.
10s and an 8.
Right. Yep. Guys, if you're still seeing the build screen, you might have to refresh your stream.
It's weird though, because like a single tier 8 CV shouldn't sit that long in queue to cause a matchmaker like this, unless you're playing like at very weird hours.
Maybe Dutch is doing just that. I don't know.
It's either that, or it was the sub, or ironically the div.
Could be. Now, and Robert, that's a very possible way to handle that as a carrier player, is you ask everybody to use HE to clear off anti-air guns and that sort of deal. Let's look at initial
What?
position.
Are you asking for team play already at the start of the game?
Yes. Now, I don't mind going into
Tom is
this.
at a massive advantage here
Agreed.
because he has the tacticals.
He's got the
He
smoke.
doesn't care if he loses planes.
I will say this is a fine place for a Worcester to sit and hunt. I think though that you were a little aggressive in that early opening up there. Not only because you got shot at, but you also told the Stalingrad where you are. If he pays attention, and he's division with the Kurfürst, so the two of them might be able to work you down.
Yeah, it's also very far forward in regards because there's submarines.
Right, and you don't have a smoke in your division. You're divvied with a Holland.
The saving grace here is it's a Thresher and a 45-01, so their shotgunning potential isn't very high.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think this position is very safe.
Nope. Yorktown tried to use tactical bombers on you. You shot down two of his planes, but they're tactical. Doesn't matter. They'll come back. They always grow back. Pulling forward just in time to dodge the radar. Yeah, your Holland is kind of in trouble, isn't he?
Yeah, that's another problem with the position here, right? You can't actually support the Holland in the middle while he gets the buff. There's no shot angle here.
Yep. Luckily for your Holland, though, he's actually not taking too much damage. Really surprised by that.
Jerk.
Jerk, indeed. Hello, Neo Archer over on YouTube. Well.
Enemy cruiser sunk.
There goes a dead Puerto Rico. Alright, so what's the next play?
Well, for Puerto Rico, it's back to port.
Well, yeah, obviously. We have some gamer words in chat. There you go. Get the heal. Heal has been picked up. I'm guessing that ASW is trying to see if the sub is over there or something. Or a destroyer. 4501 is spotted on the other side. You have to be looking at this Kurfürst and Stalingrad, dude. Ah, yep, it's the sub. You've got both of them pushing right into your position right now. If they know how to push you, you're dead. And by the way, how to push Dutch right now? Either side of the island. Kurfürst goes on one side, Stalingrad goes on the other.
I would use the Hydro here, like... You can't move forward here with the island, like this gap... Like if I was a submarine or a destroyer at the team over there, I would have torqued this gap.
Mm-hmm. Yep, the one that he's sitting right through, which ironically is probably what he's thinking will be his escape route. You should keep backing up, in my opinion. I wouldn't move forward. I'd keep backing up. You need to give yourself an out. Because you don't have torpedoes.
He's got to get out of here now. And 4051 can easily shotgun him and kill him. It's fast enough to get over there.
Yep, and his sub just died, and...
Can't. Because
What do you mean it can't?
it only has 4 front tubes. It really can't.
Okay. And look, the Kurfürst and Stalingrad are doing the right thing to get you out. I like to switch to AP here. Trying to see if you can get a shot on the Stalingrad. Now the other thing is, look at his turrets. Look at the Stalingrad's turrets. He's looking elsewhere.
Looking at him.
So this is your chance to actually get out of here. And instead you're shooting at him to let him know that you're there, to remind him you're there. He's making a mistake. Don't correct him on that mistake, you know what I mean?
Why are you going forward again?
Go forward towards the Stalingrad.
Exactly.
No.
Yes.
Salamandra not paying attention to you. Kurfürst is coming at you.
Right. This is your opportunity to get out and, well,
I mean, I agree. It's the opportunity to get out, but I would have just backed up and go around the back of the back island.
absolutely,
get
yes.
out.
Yes, but he kept moving forward, so he painted himself into this corner.
Submarine sunk.
But the enemy team is letting him paint his way out.
Waiting instructions.
Good thing you've got a division mate that's happy to shoot what you need him to shoot. Aw, look, more gamer words. Nice drops indeed. Now, you've got to be very careful with the Yamato Brisbane pushing up. Don't know where your 4501 is. You're opening up.
Why not? It's Yamato. What's he gonna do? Turn his turrets today?
I
That's
guess.
so greedy.
There's the Brisbane, which you don't really care about. I mean, it's whatever. Or you can AP him, I suppose.
Submarine in sight.
Sub right in front of you. Shotgunning your Thunderer. I think the sub was continuing forward. Oh, there goes the Thunderer.
Awaiting instructions.
Now, with you leaving this cap, I mean, they can just pick it up. Radar. Good use of the radar. You caught the sub off guard. He's going to be forced to dive down. Yorktown trying to smoke him up. Look at that team play.
Awaiting instructions. Airborne.
Why are you smoking up a sub?
I don't know.
Why would you surface the sub?
They probably had
Submarine
to.
destroyed.
Maybe ran out of dive capacity.
Torpedoes.
No, he still had battery. He still had half a
Did he?
battery.
Okay, I didn't catch it.
Like, there's nothing over there to spot him because, you know, is the only thing that would have been your hydro.
Yeah. I'm curious why you stopped shooting for a little bit there.
How much did you pay this poison not to shoot you?
I know, and just to completely ignore you, and the Yamato keeps happily shooting you in the rear. I think he's super hyper focused on the Duncan.
They can't even shoot because behind the island.
Wait.
Okay.
Let me go broadside to the battleship that can clearly punish my broadside just so I don't get pew-pewed by a Worcester while being pew-pewed by a Worcester.
Look, maybe his turrets were jammed and he had to turn the ship to shoot him, okay?
Whatever you say, South Carolina.
Now this is problematic. You're coming up on the island and you instinctively turned in front of it. You recognize that mistake and you're turning behind it. Good. You're very fortunate the Yamato stopped trying to shoot you. Right? He's got that island between
in
him.
front of this island because he was about to go dark.
Again, if that
route.
Yamato wasn't there, if the Yamato was out more and had the shot, that'd be a different story, but... Heal time.
Well, good thing that Poison decided to go rush the Duncan to turn around to run from such a Duncan.
Yeah, so he can just get farmed out by the Duncan and the Worcester? Absolutely. Wow. And good thing the Thrasher, who was AFK, is now in prime position to shotgun the Yamato. He's full health. Can he even do it?
No.
Apparently your battle is ready.
Stream Raiders is ready, yes. And he whiffed all of those torpedoes. And he's using submarine surveillance and died.
No offense. If you are playing a submarine and you pop sub surveillance and there's not a freaking sub alive, you're an idiot. Don't stop playing submarines.
Or
Okay?
learn how to use the consumable is a nicer way of putting it.
No, that is not gonna happen.
Explains the consumable, right?
There's a lot of people who just don't understand how that works. A lot of people don't get it. You have to look it over.
At first, until I actually read it one time, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it only works on submarines. Okay.
Mm-hmm. I think for him that was
Nobody
more
has
of a
time to
panic
read the
of,
description
I don't
of
know
a
what else to do.
consumable.
I mean, whenever I am hunting a sub in my
Mm-hmm.
booster, the first thing I pop is defensive fire because it's guaranteed to work.
Of
There you
course.
go. Hit all the buttons, right, Robert?
One of them's got to be right.
That's right, exactly. He panicked. By the way, chat, how are the volume levels now with Discord? Puddin' and Grunty, how are they compared to my voice?
I think we're sexier, but I'm kind
Well,
of biased.
There you go. Sacrifice to the battle gods. There you go. I mean, you don't pay anything for it. Once upon a time, you used to lose credits for using consumables.
Lose credits, that's a good one.
Only
Audio's
if you were
okay?
Using the premium ones. Oh, God,
Right, but if you could
premium
make enough-
consumables.
If you could make enough money, you're doing a lot of things wrong to pay for your consumables. Which apparently a lot of people were, because working and got rid of them.
Mm-hmm. I'm louder, but overall okay. Perfect. I should be louder than Puddin'.
Not disagreeing.
There's Shima.
Oh, this is EU server, right?
Yes, this is a EU server. Mm-hmm.
Just noticed.
Wait, what server?
EU.
Oh, you mean the server that is by far the more superior than any, that has absolutely no potatoes whatsoever, even though we just saw the sub potato?
Yeah.
Oh, it has way more potatoes than an A.
No, that's not what EU tells me.
In absolute numbers, for sure. It has more good players too.
Mm-hmm. Sarge. I love it. You know it's coming, you just kind of disregard. Wow.
Yeah, I would switch here. Like, the Conqueror's already burning. He got super heal.
The big thing is you don't want to wander into the Yamato's gun arcs while the Kexarge is shooting at you as well. So I might even turn the opposite direction. Just to keep the Yamato stuck, you know, keep him out with an island between you two.
Listen,
But-
these two have no clue what they're talking about. What you need to do is turn straight in and insert your dominance over these plebs.
There you go. Honestly, oh god, you've got Halsey in this? Okay.
Well, that changes the captain build. We have to start this all over.
Oh god.
But in all seriousness, I would have actually rushed the Care Sarge. Because there's a 98.7% chance he would have been in plane mode.
He's also the biggest threat. Like,
Well, I do like that you turned around before you hit the J line, realizing I'm cutting myself out of the battle.
More importantly, there's no allied ships in the cap, so you gotta just W forward. Forget this guy. There goes the Duncan.
No, kill him. He's beached. Get him out. You've got time.
You can kill him on your way.
Time?
Mike.
You got 2 minutes.
Oh, calm down. Once the Kearsarge dies, there's 4 minutes left. I don't care
There's
what
still
that
2
timer
games on the
top says.
timer. Rip the Holland.
Timer's a myth.
Yeah, especially like you don't need the like the game ends before they cap anyway. You need the points to kill a low HP ship.
I mean, ironically, you're in a must kill all to win, which
Yes.
Yamato's next victim.
Not all. Two kills are enough.
Listen, Grunty, stop trying to promote peace. And this is when you wish you had the only consumable that you don't have, a spotter plane to shoot over the island.
Team play. Team play build. Also, I would be going straight to the side here instead of towards the island. You need to get an angle on him as soon as possible. You're a little behind on that.
Oop, well, we missed the ad break.
Oh well. That's why I got my YouTube stream. People can go watch me there too.
Did Montana just smack it?
Yes,
Somebody smacked it.
because he's
That
side on.
I probably won you the game.
Conqueror super healing.
I don't see it. I have to watch an ad for FIFA.
Conqueror super healing, Grunty. He just
I
set a
thought you
fire to
were-
Conqueror shot back. He did get a butt fire. Does a butt fire? Ooh.
I thought you were what's up?
Needed to be on the other side of the island.
Yeah, I would have been turning in to keep the guns on the target, but
My prime sub ran out.
oops.
Oops.
Well, it's a good thing I'm totally not streaming on another platform at the same time.
Is that the
AP?
OnlyFans? Sure, it's broadside, right? Yeah.
4 seconds. Let's
No,
see.
the
Let's
Montana
count.
is the only one. And then the Conqueror turns away.
Ish.
If you were on the other side of the island, you would have had a chance to actually kill this Conqueror. But I still
Yeah.
think they lose.
Probably. Got to keep the
point-
guns
I
hot.
like- what was the point difference in the end?
Pretty high.
Yeah, I think the whole problem was the kiting back so far to like this was I'm gonna farm the crap out of everything, and then the enemy just pushed the objectives and
Well,
the farming. was
everybody on
worthless.
both teams just pushed the objectives, frankly. I think the enemy team won out in the engagements and the objectives. For example, your Thrasher couldn't handle the Yamato. Got himself killed. Shimakaze got your Holland buddy. Your Montana was basically fighting a battle in chat while he's trying to fight the game. So,
And ironically, he lost the battle in chat because you lost the game.
yep. 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 So let's take a look at the replay render. And then we'll get into Stream Raiders and do a quick ad break and all that. What are we going to title this one? For one, your division comp really doesn't jive too well. I feel like Dutch had an idea of where he wanted to go on the map and did, and then wasn't quite sure what to do from that point.
I agree. If you're going to build something and go AA spec, you bring a carrier.
The problem I have like with this position is like it's a great position if this is a domination game. I don't think it's a good position if it's arms race, because what are you actually protecting here?
Uh-huh.
Ironically, it is a good position. Where is the one and only Cap at?
Yeah, but the cap doesn't appear. Like, look where he is when the cap actually appears. Then is when he runs away from it.
He's been chased out by that point.
I never said he had to go there at the start. He should have been
Right.
on the other side of the island, to be honest, to where you move in once the cap goes. Right, because you're still in that very strong position.
Sure. But what I'm trying to get at when I'm talking about this is he knows he wants to be there. He goes there, but his food are the destroyers and the subs. They don't go there. And look, yeah, the cap shows up and now he's kiting away. Also, missed the opportunity to kill the sub earlier. It really didn't matter because the sub just obliged him by surfacing, getting radared, and then surfacing again.
Yeah, that 4051 fully deserves what happened to him because
Yeah.
there was zero reason for him to be up on the surface.
So I paused it right here because this is something that could have changed too. I'm pretty sure Dutch was constantly kiting away at full speed. He actually had an opportunity to change his throttle here. The only person shooting at him is the Yamato in the rear, right? You change the throttle, you might throw off his shells. The Preußen isn't even caring that he exists. So there's no need to be running at full speed here. Now, if the Preußen's turning and looking at him, then absolutely, full speed ahead. But
I actually would go full speed, but to a different place. Like, look at the position right now. There is still the enemy's shimmy is in the cap circle, right? Because they still have the points.
Right.
And so I would just ignore the Preußen here, do the swing, and go on the outside of the island in F7. Like between
can
F6
do
and
that.
F7. So you get in a position to support your Holland to fight that shimmy.
he can do that, but what that requires is he needs to wait 20 seconds to go dark first. Because of the Yamato's guns.
Of course.
Now that Yamato's not there, that's a different story. And that was the next thing I was going to mention. We know the Yamato goes behind this big island. As soon as he goes behind this big island, that should have been your cue to turn around and go north. But
You can also just time it when the Yamato shoots and then do the turn, like because he has the cooldown, right?
yes, that's true.
I think his mistake here was you farm out the Preußen, like you say, at maybe a half, probably a quarter, because he's just completely ignoring you. So you can do half quarter to throw off the Yamato that's shooting you. All right, and as soon as the Preußen starts turning, stop shooting, because by the time he completes the turn, you're dark. You full W turn and push back in.
Yep.
He's so far outside now, like this is just...
Well, and there's a lot of time that's been lost while he's been trying to get back into the battle. Exactly. And while that's happening, what's happened? All of his teammates have died in the center. Except for your Holland div mate who's going to take a Shimakaze torpedo and die.
That was another thing. I didn't even notice how he died.
Shimatorp. Gonna come later. He's actually going to take a torp that was meant for the Duncan. You're going to see him in a moment. Keksarge is going to nail the Brisbane. Now the Holland's going to swing around on the side, and there's the Shimakaze. Actually, no, those weren't torpedoes that were meant for the Duncan. They were just panic torps that the Shimakaze ran into the Holland. They saw each other, and he just smoked up, stopped, and torped.
Yeah, imagine if you were close and you could have kept shooting the shimmy or keep it at list lit.
Now, ironically, you guys were talking about going to the south part of that island south of A. That would have put him right into the guns of the Keksarge. But either way, I think we can all agree, kited away too far. He's playing it too cautiously, and when he needs to turn around the most, he doesn't do it. And then later, when that Conqueror is there, he doesn't have the option to keep shooting at him because he goes behind the island. Lack of consumables usage.
You left the Holland out to die. Like, even if he doesn't take the torpedo, like, the Shimmick keeps him spotted. Like, let the Conqueror shoot an HE salvo into him. Like,
But I also feel like there was no real division work or communication. The only thing I saw from a division standpoint is killing that Stalingrad.
yeah, they really didn't work together.
Well, that's not true. Also the sub, I suppose, and the Puerto Rico at the start. But yeah, I mean, it's hard to get the feeling that they're working.
Puerto Rico got focused by everybody there because, like, he overextended like crazy.
Of course. Of course. But later you're going to see Dutch tossing out ASW planes pretty much right by the sub that's hunting his division mate. So, okay. But towards the mid-late game, it seems like it's everybody for themselves. Now, maybe that's partly because the Montana is too busy being a keyboard warrior to pay attention to div chat. I don't know. And we don't know what's going on with the Holland and what he's doing either. But I think the Holland and Worcester pairing, you guys really disconnected about the halfway point.
You know what I find interesting is your Montana.
Mm-hmm.
He goes too far to the 9 line. If he was more centralized still, the Worcester can stay in position because the Stalingrad dies, and then there's no threat from the Kurfürst.
He's also way too aggressive going in front of that island at Gulf 7. Or Gulf 8-9, I mean.
Yeah.
But I think here's another mistake. Right, as soon as that sub dies, what really stops you from being pushed out from A?
Yeah, this was your opportunity when the sub dies. This was your opportunity to go back to that little spot you wanted to be in at the start. You're absolutely right, Putin.
You could just
right there.
Follow up behind the Yamato. While all that's still going on, you could be dodging the other Yami shells while farming out this poison, who literally is giving no cares to your existence at all.
That's right.
Until it's too late.
Ironically, though, like, if you... The poison not caring about that is what caused him going in this way and keep shooting the poison, and ultimately took the Worcester out of the battle itself, too.
Well, not only that, but he also smacked the div mate Montana once, too. Because he was showing too much side. And that's about the part where the Yamato told him he was too far back. The one that charged in and died. Anyway. One thing you've always looked at as a cruiser main supporting a destroyer, if you have to, I'm guessing, say, align my consumables at the end. And if you weren't close enough to really help your destroyer. And that's what I'm getting at, right? He's definitely not close enough to support that destroyer. SFNL, thank you, SF. Go ahead, Putin.
That was me. But yeah, it comes also down like to the really div choice. Like, if you play the Worcester like this, why are you pairing it with a destroyer that has no smoke? Imagine if you pair this with a smoke destroyer.
Exactly.
I suspect, right? I suspect, right? You're bringing a Holland. Why? Because you don't want to deal with the carrier. You're being a full AA booster because you don't want to deal with the carrier.
Subscription.
I guarantee the Montana's probably got something built into AA. Right? If this is what you're pairing it with, because like you say, just bring a Gearing. Bring a ship. Bring literally anything with smoke. Bring a Grozavoy if you hate carriers that much.
SFNL1 gifted
and it's got the
Thunder
screw you carrier button.
13088 to a
And heal.
subscription. SFNL1 gifted a tier 1 sub to Thunder
So-
Like, there are a lot of carriers that will not respect the Grozavoy until it's like, oh crap, he just killed all my planes.
Yep. SF, thank you again for the gifted subs and the Stevie slideshow. Great to see Stevie again.
SFNL1 gifted the fluffiest puppy subscription.
So what are we going to call this replay, guys?
Farming damage like crazy, losing and wondering why.
Yup. So there's a lot that we've kind of isolated down here. There's a lot we've discussed. So what are we going to title it? What's the big thing? Is it the farming? Is it the positioning?
Lack of div play.
I think
quite
it's the
simply-
farming. The
You say whatever you want about the farming, but they didn't play as a division. They didn't play as teammates.
Kraken, but Slackin?
Did somebody get a Kraken?
Yeah, he did. Dutch got a Kraken in the Worcester at the end.
I kind of like Robert's done. But I mean, I think the biggest downfall is we could say whatever we want about all these mistakes, but why are they mistakes? They're not playing as a div. They're not playing together. They're not playing as a cohesive unit.
Completely agree. Usually, and we see this in competitive, you want to take ships that complement each other, but kind of do, kind of don't. All right. Well, this was a great replay to start on. So, Dutch, nice job with that replay choice. Thank you much.